So I'm making this little video today just to talk about how my presentation went the other day and to talk about the sort of feedback that I got from it. I talked a lot about my Chimera film, which if you haven't seen it yet, just scroll down just now and watch it. There's either a link if you're on YouTube or it's embedded into my blog if you're on my blog. Just watch it and then you'll sort of understand a little bit about what I'm talking about. So pause me right now. Okay, you've watched it? Great. I'll move on. So my presentation went quite well. I think I filmed it all and presented it as a film because I'm talking a lot about film at the moment. But I'm also talking about performance. And I think that was the thing that was picked up most on, is that I'm not really focused, which makes completely sense. I know that's one of my weaknesses. I'm not great at picking one thing and sticking, well, not sticking to it, but not going off on a tangent. I tend to sort of discover lots of different things and then get really excited about one thing and then excited about the next thing, and I move on from lots of different things. I just need to sometimes go straight and pick one thing and, you know, maybe bring in some other elements but try and stay to one area. So I think for my project to be achievable in a year, because I've only got a year, I mean less than a year now, we finish up in August, so I think to make things attainable I need to decide between film and performance. At the moment I think I'm going down the performance route, which is maybe more ambitious than film because you've got to sort of rely on other people and there's lots of different elements to bring something like a performance together. But I think if I want to achieve a spectacle, which is something I'm quite into, I think it's like a quite unusual goal for perhaps a jeweler, so it seems like a good fit for this course. I think it needs to be live, so it needs to be a performance. I think I still want to bring the filmed elements into it. I mean, like, just now this is technically a film, isn't it, if you think about it. So if I go for little bits of documentation like this and I completely document my work through film, then I can still make a film but perhaps not make everything about the film. So the film's a documentation rather than the final product. And the final thing being a performance, so then I can focus more on my making and the materials and the craftsmanship of the jewellery pieces, because I think that's generally more important. I mean, I'm a crafter, so it would make sense if I actually made decent things instead of just cobbled together things to try and fit in with the film. But it still means that I can use filmed elements, but just not make everything about the film, make it about the performance more. So I've started to look into the Chimera aspect of it a lot more. I'm finding it really fascinating to try and combine human and animal elements, and I went to the Sea Life Centre yesterday to try and sort of get myself a little bit of inspiration and figure out, you know, exactly what kind of visual form my Chimera is going to take. So here's some of the sketches that I did while I was there. I took loads of pictures and I'm going to do a lot more drawing, so I quite like the idea of focusing on sort of deep sea creatures and basically anything that lives in the ocean. I mean, that's quite a wide spectrum as well. I need to focus on that as well, so I'm maybe looking at things that are a little bit more unusual. Jellyfish and stingrays and this little sea slug, all really beautiful and lots of colours and lots of interesting sort of formations and sculptural aspects to them as well. So at least there I can specify a little bit that out of the whole animal kingdom I will look at stuff that's in the ocean. That'll definitely provide me with a great way to decide exactly what physical form the Chimera is going to take. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment, and looking to develop more sketches and models and little bits of samples to try and actually decide what my Chimera is going to be. And at the same time I'll be developing my narrative, because that's obviously a really important part, and that's why I picked the Chimera in the first place. So I think it might involve me writing a little story, maybe a sort of fairy tale style thing to it, and then that could be part of the performance perhaps. I like the idea of using light in some way. I mean, I've talked about fire and fireworks a little bit, but I don't know how, you know, safe that's going to be on the human body. I can't exactly set my performer on fire, although that would be a spectacle, just maybe not what I'm going for. Definitely wouldn't get into my ethical consideration for one of my learning outcomes. Don't think I should kill my performer, that would be bad. But there might be a way to add some form of pyrotechnics into the performance, maybe not part of the jewellery itself, but that would provide part of the spectacle. In in any case, maybe using light in some way I think is quite interesting. I'm not very digitally minded, but I could get there somehow, maybe using LEDs and little bits of maybe fibre optics, those kind of style of lighting. I think they're quite spectacular if you utilise them in the right way. So I need to sort of figure out that a little bit, and that would sort of add to the sort of jellyfish, you know, aesthetic and the sort of deep sea creatures, you know, bioluminescence and all of that. I think I also like the idea of making a really big piece, and that in itself would be a spectacle. It's just finding out a way that it's going to move in the body in an interesting way and finding the right kind of performer to make my piece come alive and transform into the Chimera. These are kind of the ideas that I'm working with, and it's progressed from the presentation in quite a good way. I mean, as soon as I'd sort of come out of my actual presentation I was so disheartened. I was like, oh god, I really don't know what I'm going to do. Because I thought, oh well, they don't like my ideas, it's terrible, but after sort of thinking about it, I just realised that actually they were just trying to help me out, you know. I do need to focus. I need to pick a couple of different things and run with that instead of just going, oh well, I'll do this and this and this and this. I've only got a year, so I need to bring things together. So I'm quite excited about what I'm doing at the moment, and coming very soon is some posts about my trip to London and all the museums that we visited there, because there's a lot of inspiration going on there at the moment, and as well as my trip to the Sea Life Centre. I'll share with you my drawings and photos, and I'll try and get some form of design drawings maybe done up already. I'll maybe sketch out some human forms and add my little bits of sketches onto them. That would be quite a good way to sort of discuss what I'm doing visually and thinking about with the Chimera. And I also will start to write my fairy tale. If anyone knows anything about chimeras, that would be really great. Come and tell me a story. So yeah, those are the kind of ideas that I'm working with at the moment, and I will bring all of these together at some point soon, I hope, and hopefully won't go off on too many tangents. I'm still looking at aerogel as well, so if you've been following what I've been talking about, aerogel's really interesting. And if I can use it as material, I'm definitely going to, because it looks really exciting, although it's bloody expensive, so might need to see what I can get myself a better job, I think, sounds like. So yeah, thanks for watching. I would love to hear your thoughts on my Chimera film, and if you've got any ideas of, you know, what I should be doing next, if you think, oh no, you should focus on film, give me a shout. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you've got any connections performance-wise, do let me know if you're interested in being a performer in my show, or if you're a dancer, or, you know, acrobatics, or you've got anything to do with that. I'd love to hear from you. Please, yeah, get in touch, or just leave some comments in the comments below and let me know what you think so far. Great, thank you very much. See you later.